Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound, and I got news for you. I think this is the last Monday market report of the year. So this is for the week ending December 18, 2023. As we all know, Christmas is on a Monday, and then a week from that point forward, it's going to be New Year's Day. So it's very likely that we are not going to see a Monday market report for the next 2 weeks, but that's okay. We're still going to try and do the pocket change variety of this report just so we could kind of keep tabs on how slow or how good the market is right in the thick of the holidays. So, yeah, welcome to this one. If this is your first time here, first and foremost, welcome to the show. We're going to take a look at some of the most relevant post-1900 modern era of graded coins that have sold here in the last 7 days. Now, December 18th was on Sunday, so the reason why I chose that date is that Great Collections ends their weekly auctions on that date. So we are certainly going to take a look at everything that popped on Sunday, things that are quite relevant. Moderns still very hot. You're probably not going to burn your finger hot, but a lot of the coins on here are quite relevant for what we're going to talk about here today. So, if you're an investor, you're a collector, this report might be for you. How's the market doing heading into Christmas and New Year's? What I can tell you is, even if things slow down, which they're going to, we're already seeing that right now. We're 6 days away from the show. But outside of that, we normally see a 2-week slowdown, and then things begin to pick up business again after the first of the year. And it couldn't have come at a good time because we have the Florida United Numismatist Show, one of the biggest ones to kick off the year, not even 2 weeks into the month of January. So when that thing hits, the market is just going to come back alive again. This is not a long-term dormant situation. This is simply people taking a breather so that way they can afford to buy the Christmas presents and to partake in some of those sometimes expensive holiday practices that we all know. So great collections. That's what we're going to look at here today. And a pretty nice slide of action here. We got 20 total coins to look at. All graded by some of your most popular grading companies like PCGS and NGC. So I look forward to talking about this one with you here today. All right. So I talked about this one just yesterday on or 2 days ago on a Pocket Change Market Report video, but now we're going to revisit it one more time. I do have one more Whatnot show here this month. That's going to be coming up this Friday, December 22nd. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We have a hot new mystery product on our hands, and we are going to sample it. Is it everything that Vault Box is? Is it more? Is it worth the money? We're going to see. Vault Box has kind of been that gold standard in the industry, and, we've seen some pretenders, but I'm telling you what, it's going to be a tall order to usurp the throne of what is Vault Box. So this Friday, I'm going to be opening up, courtesy of Whatnot and RCTVX, one of their boxes. It's going to have 3 mystery coins packs in there, and the high prize is $9,000. So we're going to see if we can hit one of those bad boys in there, and ultimately give you my unbiased opinion. Is it worth the money? Which is quite pricey. It's $800. So we'll see that. We're also going to do a little bit of a auction as well. We're going to bring in part 10 of the unsearched weed scent roll lots. I figure I might as well sell a few more. I got to get rid of these things, and there's no better time to do it than this Friday. So we're going to go ahead and, offer up maybe 20 lots, things like that. I'm going to juice them like I normally do. All right, so it's going to be a lot of fun. If it's your first time on the platform, I'll have my referral link down below in the description box. feel free to sign up. But when you do, you'll earn $15 in usable credit right away on any item that you purchase from any of the streamers on the platform. So go check it out. And if anything, just hang out and, see what it's all about. All right, let's go ahead and jump into these coins. We're going to kind of go at it a little bit quick. We got this 1972 Lincoln Memorial set. This one is a rare one. This is a doubled die obverse, but not the big one that you all think. This is the FS104 DDO number 4. This is the scarcest one out of the 9 or so Cherry Pickers Guide varieties that we all try and hunt for the date. Now, this particular example and this doubled die doesn't show the most dramatic doubling, which makes it kind of tough to attribute. I'm sure a lot of people have tossed this one back because, they just don't see the doubling on there. But there is doubling on Liberty and in the motto, "In God We Trust." If you need more information on what this one looks like, including die markers, check out websites like coppercoins.com and varietyvista.com as well. They're going to offer up some of the best images of this coin. But in any event, this one ended up as a PCGS Mid-State 64 red-brown. Okay, a lot of that has to do with the obverse. I think probably this one was a roll ender to have more of an oxidized brown appearance on the front. But nonetheless, beautiful coin. And this one ended up selling for $1,300.49. So quite a very valuable coin, even in this grade where others won't even touch $1,000. Another one right here. It's actually a pretty nice one. One of my favorites of the week. 1957 Lincoln Wheat Cent. And as you can tell, this one is actually a very, very nice proof struck coin. Only found in proof sets. Now keep in mind, 1956 onward, the mintages are a little bit more buff, a little bit more available. You can find these for right around $40 or so. So it represents a really good cherry picking opportunity if you're at a coin show or a shop or things like that. And they just so happen to have a few of these proof sets. Always worth a double check here. This one grades Proof 67 red. We're going to be looking for the nice frosty devices, offset by the deep dark mirrored fields. They call this an ultra cameo or simply cameo for some of the ones that are a little bit less. This is such a pretty coin, and it ended up selling for $1,550.25. Any of these 50s or 60s proof coins, whatever they may be in those sets, that exhibit the level of frost that you see on this one might actually turn out to be a pretty nice windfall for said cherry picker. So always look out for these. Look even in your collection if you know you have some of these, because these traditionally get passed down from generation to generation. But, again, always something to keep an eye out on if you're at a show. The next one that we have here, I actually did a little short video on this one. This is a monster. It's a top pop graded 1951S Lincoln Wheat Cent. Now, these were minted into oblivion. There's no shortage of 1951S Lincoln cents. As a matter of fact, if you wanted to just get and obtain a nice BU example for like an album, I mean, you could do a lot worse than spending maybe $1 for a coin like that at a coin shop. But where it really shines is going to be a registry level coin like you see here. So this is a Pop 2, none finer. There's only 2 examples that grade a Mid-State 68 red. This is one of them you see here. And because of that, Lincoln Cent enthusiasts and registry set participants are going to open up that checkbook. And in this case, this one sold for $16,312.50. So kind of a far-fetched idea to think that something like this would be worth that kind of money. But I'm telling you, the rarity is at the very top with the grade levels. And we had seen one of these not too long ago, I would say in the last couple weeks. But yet again, here is another example of one of my favorite varieties to look for, and that's the 1946 S/D Lincoln Wheat Cent. Man, this thing is like a white whale for a lot of collectors. This one is probably more rare than the 44D over S. And we're talking both the 511 and the 512. Both varieties are incredibly scarce, but this one is just on a whole other level. I have yet to find one of these, and I go through thousands of wheat scents. Or at least I used to, and that's why I'm selling them. But in any event, this is just a really pretty example. High-end. PCGS graded this one a monstrous 66 plus full red. And it's also got a CAC sticker. So because of that, this coin ended up popping at $2,031.75. This is a coin that we just don't see that often. Another big one here. This time, NGC got the credit for the grade. 1941S Lincoln Wheat Scent. This one, a Mid-State 68 red, is indeed the top pop for both PCGS and NGC. But I think I could speak for a lot of those registry set folks that they prefer to see a PCGS example. But nonetheless, this is just a really nice one, and it ended up selling for $2,144.25. So varieties certainly making their impact here, and a lot of like Red Book guide varieties. I mean, some really nice premier pieces. We have another one here. This is the 1936 doubled die obverse Lincoln Wheat Scent. This is a coin that I love hunting for and have successfully found a fair amount of them during my lifetime. Now, this one right here is one of the big varieties. But some would even say that it's a little bit more obtainable compared to some of the other bigger ones like the 1917 DDO and a few others. So just another gem. There are registry sets for Lincoln scents that also include varieties. So this one probably would fit very well in that. This one sold for $2,092.50. Another beaming red example out in the marketplace. And again, we probably see two or three of these sold each and every year. And one of the perennial key dates, the 1931S Lincoln Wheat Scent, has a mintage under $1 million. All right. But with that kind of number, a lot of people, even back in the 30s, knew this was going to be a low mintage key. So what ended up happening? People were hoarding these, and a lot of them actually exist in BU condition. A lot of mid-state reds, browns, red browns, you name it. There's a lot of them out there for varying budgets. You could get a really nice one for under a few $100 pretty easily. Now, this one, whole other level. It's a 66 red. It's just a monster grade for a key date. Now, this one also could fit in a registry set. But we could also see this one being a great investment coin or just a really nice high-end type coin for someone that's looking for one. So this one sold for $2,025. One of my favorites, and that seems to be kind of a relative bargain for what you're getting here. Mid-state 67s and higher are just insane in this particular date, and the prices end up going up 4- or 5-fold as a result. All right, now we're into some nickels. We have a few Jefferson nickels. How about a really nice toner here? This is a 1945p Silver War nickel. These were 35% silver and manganese, and because of that, not only are they very well collected, because they're kind of seen as like this very unique one-shot type of run, similar to the 1943 steel scents, right? They have a whole lot of history. This particular one and the composition allowed for some really beautiful toning. As you can see here, you have a very light pastel-like toning that features a lot of yellows, and green is a very dominant color, some blue in there. Just a magnificent coin. Mid-State 68, and guess what? It doesn't even have a full steps designation. So sometimes there's that trade-off. Does strike matter or does eye appeal matter? It really depends on the eye of the beholder. So this one ended up being an eye-appealing example that did really well in the market this week. So this one right here sold for $1,531.12. Very high grade, but it also proves you don't need the full steps to make it a rarity. And our other Jefferson nickel is a 1939S. Okay, kind of like a semi-key. They're not particularly tough, but keep in mind there are two different reverses on these. There's the reverse of 38, which has kind of the more crude-looking steps on Monticello, and then the reverse of 40, which has the much more crisper look of the steps. The reverse of 1940 is really easy to find with full steps. The reverse of 38, not so much. This one right here is a Mid-State 67 with full steps. Beautiful, very lustrous coin. Second year type of this series. And this one sold for $1,828.12 here this week. And Buffalo's looking really good. Very sharp. And I have a feeling that going into 2024, this series is just going to get even more popular. There's going to be more people that will want just premium examples at all grade levels. But let's go ahead and talk about the 1938D over S. This is one of the big varieties that I would say is very cherry pickable today. If you know, and the one thing that I do like even in this day and age is that you could still find very nice raw examples of this coin. Again, much like the 31S we talked about, this is the final year of the Buffaloes, and a lot of people save these right off the rip. You know, as soon as they dropped at the banks, people were going in, they were asking for rolls, and it wasn't until about the early 80s where a lot of these were opened up, and you know, it really flooded the market with a lot of nice like 65 to 67 level caliber coins. Now, you gotta make sure that you look for the varieties. There's two over mint marks, two D over S's, and as well, there's a couple RPMs too. There was actually an RPM that sold for over $1,800 this week that I did not add to the show. This one right here is a 67 plus. All right, just a supreme grade. Has a little bit of original color. You know, you can see the accents on the front of the coin, but also on the reverse as well. You have that nice champagne color. This one sold for $1,642.60. I mean, this is like kind of like instant win, lottery, kind of money in a box type situation. You know, just go to your shop or show and like look at every single 38D that you could find. There are dealers that don't look for these, and that could present kind of a wide open door of opportunity for people that frequent shows. This is always going to be a good one to look for. Rotated because it's rotated in the holder, so I just kept it that way. We have a 1936 Buffalo nickel. This is a mid-state version, not a proof, but it's such a high-grade example. The scratch that you see across the obverse is on the plastic and not on the coin, so I just wanted to make that absolutely clear. This one is a PCGS Mid-State 67 Plus. Don't let the common date fool you. It's the grade that really makes this one next level awesome. And because of that, this one sold for $2,120.73. I love the kind of the virtuoso toning. Very light, but yet very luminescent on this one. It's one of my favorites this week. And we also have a 35S, kind of like that pseudo tough date. You know, we don't think about this date as being something extraordinary, but boy, man, if you're able to hit a home run on a mid-state coin, these can be a monster. This one, NGC graded as a mid-state 67 plus. It's got really nice above average luster for the issue. And this one sold for $4,050. It's not even the top grade. This is kind of like one of those sub-tier 2 type coins. There are 68s and 68 pluses that exist with these particular dates. And the final Buffalo nickel that I wanted to talk about today is yet again another tough one. This 34D, sure, it's got a 1930s date on it, but you have to consider that it has just the garbage quality of the 1920s. Luster was kind of hit or miss on these. This one was more of a miss. The coin appears a lot more darker, probably because of the annealing on these, which made them bake a little bit hotter and darker. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it makes sense. The same way that Black Beauty nickels exist. But in any event, Mid-State 66 Plus by NGC was assigned on this coin, and it did sell for $3,461.62. Again, if you could find this date in Unk, untampered with, unaltered, that could be a pretty big coin there too. Because I know it's not quite affordable, even in like Mid-State 65 grades. This is just a really overall tough date. Not a lot of people know that. All right, we do have a few dimes. Some nice eye appeal here. How about 53S Rosie? All right, we got to talk about it because this one looks like it came out of an old album or someplace where there's a lot of reaction between the old album paper and the cardstock, and combined it with silver, which, you know, they kind of go hand in hand to develop some really nice, beautiful color. This one is an NGC Mid-State 68 Plus. Again, we're not talking about full torch here. The color and the grade number really kind of set this one far ahead. And this one sold for $1,138.50. I could only imagine that full torch on this would catapult it probably 2x. It's that great. And then here you go. This is a prototypical, beautiful full bands coin to go along with some color. You know, it is a 47, which is a little bit more common date to find especially full torch on there. And, you know, the color is an extra added bonus. This one, based off of where the toning is, was probably in an album as well. PCGS graded this one as a 68 full bands, beautiful grade, and it sold for $1,861.88. And a few Mercs as well. How about a 38? Just a plain Jane Philadelphia coin here. However, the grade is monstrous. 68 full bands on this one. I mean, we don't need to say a whole lot more about Mercury dimes. It's just like one of the premier collected coins on the face of this earth. Beautiful example here. Really nice. Again, 68 full bands. And it sold for $3,408.75. The next coin that we have here is one that we don't see too often. It's the doubled die obverse FS101. I mean, this thing is a scarcity. And we have kind of like the perfect example to hit the market. You have one that has the variety. It's a tough date. You have this original skin, this color on there. And it's a 67 with full bands. It's got, you know, the amazing splits. It's a very heavily struck coin with lots of detail. This is kind of like a dream result right here for anyone that sends it into a grading company. But what's the results on this one? Pretty nice. $2,756.25 was the sale. Again, it's kind of like a trophy coin for a lot of Mercury dime enthusiasts, and one that we don't see come up on auction too often. Whoa, this thing is quite dark with some really thick, heavy toning. 1962, Washington Quarter, Mid-State 67 Plus by NGC. I don't know where this coin came from. It was probably based on how much coverage the coin has in color. It was probably sitting in a small envelope and probably in a jewelry box or a desk. Some environment where there's going to be a lot of like acidic materials kind of like, you know, mixing and molding itself together to produce one of the craziest, like, if you were going to describe toning of like a snake that you find in the Amazon jungle, this is it right here. It's got the deep greens, the purples. I mean, this thing is just a dog dish of various like toning patterns and color that's been built onto this thing for many decades. This thing is wild. It sold for $1,751.62. It's not even the top grade for the date. You know, you would have to go to PCGS and find like maybe a 68 grade. And even if that were the case, that'd be like a $10,000 coin all day long. But, you know, $1,700 for this one. I mean, it's all toning here, folks. 41S, again, the toning really hits it home with this one. You know, 67 plus through PCGS is fine. It's a fine grade for this one. It looks quite clean. A few little trivial kind of like planchet or planchet marks on the cheek there. But outside of that, the fields are clean. It's got that original toning. It's nice. $1,406.25 was the sale on this one. And I just had to throw it in. We talk a lot about moderns. This one fits in that mold, but when we look at it, it's like, well, yeah, that's a coin from the 1800s. Now we have a 1910 Barber quarter, okay, and it's a proof. We probably talk about one of these maybe once or twice a year. They come up so infrequently, but there's just something about cameo or deep cameo Barber coinage that gives it that kind of like majestic, ghostly kind of feel to them. If you ever take a look at like a Barber half dollar with deep cameo and you have the whitest frost on them, my goodness, they are a coin unlike any other. And if you take great photos of them, it's going to captivate you. And these type of coins, they just don't show up that often. Now, it's also worth mentioning that CAC also gave its blessing on this grade. It's just a tremendous coin. This one right here, we had to throw it in. Big dollar coin, $15,329.25 was kind of like a good way to cap off what could possibly be the last MMR for the year 2023. So that's it, folks. Videos for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Please do collect and grade responsibly if you're going to be engaging in this sort of practice. And that's it, guys. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. This was a look at your Monday market report on Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my content, to the channel, and all that great stuff. All the extra support will help in ensuring that I continue to do some quality videos. But that's it. You guys have a wonderful Christmas, happy holiday, happy New Year. I will see you guys really soon for more content, and we'll be on Friday on Whatnot, so make sure you join in there. You could possibly win an $800 RCTV X mystery box. So that's it. Love you guys. Take care. And I'll see you on the next coin video. So long.